If you, a relative, or your friend were in need of blood today, the person could lose his or her life. This is because there is no blood at the National Blood Bank. The Accra Area Blood Center, which serves about 50 health outlets, has once again been hit by a shortage. The situation has been described by managers of the bank as alarming. Our reporter, Eunice Amiche Jonathan, once again has been following this story.
News broke out on Thursday that the Kolebu Blood Bank was encountering serious shortage of blood. And as of Friday, we don't know what the current state of the blood bank is. So we have come here to find out if the situation has changed. And we have with us the head of the Kolebu Blood Bank, also known as the Accra Area Blood Center. And the head of the laboratory here is Mrs. Sheila Alote, who will be telling us more about the current state of the blood bank. Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon, and thank you. I would like to say that the situation hasn't changed. It's rather being alarmed because we are going on a weekend, and as of this afternoon, the blood is still not coming in. Donors are still not coming in to donate. So I would like to say that the situation hasn't changed at all.
Day in, day out, people come to donate, yet we still have constant outcry for blood.
The situation is not new because every year around this time, we have shortage of blood. Because of the Christmas festivities, people travel up, down the country, and there are accidents and all that. So there's a high demand in blood, for blood.
If I understand what you are saying, most of the time around Christmas time, people travel. One would also think that Easter time people travel. During the Islamic calendar festivities, people travel. So what is it about Christmas that is different from other occasions that Ghanaians encounter, that we usually have these challenges with our blood?
Yeah. I would like to say that the blood center really depends on voluntary donations to stock up the blood banks. And most of these voluntary donations come from students. And during this festive, Christmas, most of the students are they are home. They are home, so we don't get access to them to donate blood. In fact, that creates the shortage around this time.
It's been a trend for years, so we should know what works and what doesn't work. And if we know that around Christmas time students are at home, have we made other provisions to ensure that if students are at home, then we have this to cushion so that we have blood at the bank to save lives?
Yes, every year, we have strategy in place that every year we do blood donations around, that is in December. I recall that on Farmers' Day, we had a blood donation exercise, and we got quite a few, hoping that we'll be getting donors to come in. And as I said earlier, we depend on voluntary donors. So apart from the students, voluntary donors around usually should come in to donate blood. We move to the churches and other organizations like clubs, communities to collect blood. But as I said, I don't know whether it's the mood, the Christmas mood. People really don't want to come to donate blood.
If somebody should come here today and the person is in need of blood, would the person pay for it?
The answer is yes and no. We all know that blood is a raw material. When we take blood, we need to screen blood for infections because blood transfusion is the most surest way of infecting somebody. If my blood is infected and I give it to you, you get infected. So we need to screen the blood. We need to do it and do it very well. So, in fact, the cost that goes into all the tests that we run on the blood that we take is what we pay for, and we call it the processing fee. But blood is not sold. Blood cannot be sold. The final appeal to the general public is that all must try, every able-bodied person must try to get to the blood centers to donate blood. Because there are a lot of people needing blood for their surgeries. We should think about antenatal patients, our mothers. They need blood. So please come out in your numbers and come and donate so that we get blood to give to that patient to save lives of children and our mothers.
Remember, donating a pint could save your own life. From the Accra Area Blood Center, Akolebu, I am Eunice Nyamicha Jonathan, reporting for ETV News.
So that when you donate blood, it is not just about the normal red blood we are all used to. We now bring you some things you never knew about blood donation.
Pregnancy is beautiful, and most often, women and relatives are happy and cannot wait to meet their unborn children. But one thing that many dread is complications associated with labor. On an annual basis, what is expected to bring joy to families often results in sorrows and sometimes curses because women die during labor. Most maternal deaths are attributed to bleeding. This situation pertains to all women across the globe, but it is prevalent in sub-Saharan Africa and Asia. The good news is that there is a preventive measure which, if taken, can help put an end to the numerous deaths affecting pregnant women. This is where blood donation comes in.
We are currently at the blood processing laboratory of the Accra Area Blood Center, and we've seen a lot of things. We can see that blood is already being processed. One other thing that we have found that we feel is quite fascinating is this, that I don't really know what it is. So we are lucky to have the head of the laboratory over here, Mrs. Alote. If you can please come closer to me. To do a little education with us as to what this is.
This is what we call plasma. And plasma is the fluid part of blood, what we see as red. When blood is donated, it can be broken down into components because blood is made up of components. We have the red cells, the white cells, the platelets, and the fluid part being plasma. So this is what I have in hand. So when it's donated, this component can be removed from the whole unit for us to get plasma and what we call red cell concentrates. The plasma is kept or stored in a freezer, which becomes frozen. It contains clotting factors, and it's used when somebody is bleeding to arrest the bleeding.
Okay, so when you say it is used when somebody is bleeding, what kind of people are usually in need of the plasma?
I would like to say that most of the time it's our pregnant women, our mothers, during childbirth. When they start bleeding, you need the fresh frozen plasma to transfuse to them to stop the bleeding.
Okay, so it's not everybody that can make use of the plasma?
No, it's not everybody. It's not everybody that makes use of the plasma. It's mostly those who are bleeding or those who are having deficiency in some of the clotting factors. They use it so that at least they get an increase in their clotting factors.
Okay, Mrs. Alote, so please, the plasma, when it has to be used by a pregnant woman, when they are in labor, will it have to go along with the normal blood as well?
Sometimes it goes with what you are calling the normal blood. That is the concentrated red cell. Yes. Then sometimes it goes alone, because first of all they want to arrest the bleeding. They want the bleeding to stop. Then they will then transfuse the red cells so that the person will have red cells, because the red cells now carry oxygen throughout the body.
There's some education over there. I didn't even know about this plasma, but luckily we have been educated, so we now know how important it is for all of us to donate blood. You will never know whose lives you are saving. Somebody's life could depend on just this, the plasma. So let's try our best to do voluntary donation. I am Eunice Nyamicha Jonathan, reporting for ETV News.